I still have the 458 Speciale.
Good-o.
I was having a bit of a flirt with the 360, which I like, mainly
Yes.
because it was in blue nart, which I think is a nice colour. But then I listened to you two dissing it.
That was him.
Very recently.
That was me.
Yeah. So that's sort of slightly, not that that should put me off, obviously, but it did.
Do you get to use the 458 Speciale often?
No. No. I actually haven't driven it for several months. For
It's been
various
winter.
reasons.
It's been winter,
yes. It's also, to be honest, I love it because, and I also heard what you said about the regular Italia being essentially a better car, and you are right, because I had one of those previously.
Yes.
And I was going to chop that in for a 488 GTB, which I know you said was the greatest road Ferrari ever, and I think you might be right about that. Well, not quite that.
Might not quite that, but it's a bloody fine car.
It was a fantastic car,
Yeah.
yes. I went on the launch of it. And I was persuaded to have the Speciale because they reckoned they could get one more in. The order book was essentially closed, but they said, I bet they could just...
For you,
sneak
Mr.
one more
May.
in. For you, my friend, yes.
Yes.
And I don't know if mine was actually the last one down the line.
Uh-huh.
It would depend on the chassis number, but they won't release that. I've asked them. I said, have I actually got the last one? Because if I have, that could be quite
Keep
interesting.
it.
Yeah, but they won't tell me. But anyway, that's how I ended up with it. And it's orange, and it's got gold wheels and a big stripe. And it's a bit embarrassing, if I'm honest, but I love it because it's silly.
Yeah. And it should be.
Yeah. So,
Fantastic.
and I do have a red metal flake beach buggy, so I can't really be that embarrassed about an orange Ferrari.
And of course, you have a 911 too.
Of course I do, yes. You once told me,
Oh, God.
and you were right, that the one thing everybody always regrets selling is a 911.
Correct. Yeah, that is that is one of the few sensible things. That, yeah.
And I did nearly sell it last year, and then I had a moment. I'd done a deal with a woman who was very interested in it. And she was also the sort of person I wanted my 911 to go to, if you know what I mean.
Right sort of home.
Yes. And then right at the last minute, I had to ring her up and say, I'm really sorry, but I can't do it. I just...
You can't
Do
let
you
it
think
go.
she secretly thought you just had a better offer than somewhere else?
No, because I know her. She's the sister of a good friend of mine, so she
okay.
knows I still
Yes.
have it.
Okay.
And it's also Sarah's favourite of all my cars, even though she hardly ever goes in it. She thinks one should have a 911. You know, it's that sort of thing. And I'm conflicted because I wrote about this a few years ago. Some days I think the 911, for all the reasons we've heard many times, you know, it's robust, it's bulletproof, it's actually usable every day, it's a proper car, but it's also exciting. It has character and it has pedigree and all those things. And other days I get it and I think, how bloody boring is a 911, for God's sake? It's so dull.
I've never had that.
Yeah, I have. I really vacillate.
I've driven, like you, I've driven so many of them. And unless it's something which is not my kind of 911, so it's a, Tiptronic 4-wheel drive, cabriolet, whatever, because, I've always been one of these tedious 911 balls who bang on about less is more and so on and so forth. I've never had that. I've never gotten into a 911 and thought, oh, well, this is... I love the fact they do their job so well and so relatively anonymously because there's people see them all the time. I can remember I had a BMW i8 as a long-termer for a bit, which is a fine car, but the attention it got just drove me up the wall. And that was replaced by a 911. I became invisible again.
Yeah.
It was just another car. I loved that. Probably what I like most about it.
Yeah, they are just cars.
They are just cars.
Yeah, but very good ones. So I'll keep it. It's still... I've got too many cars, I'd be the first to admit it, and I don't drive that much these days. And my 911 I've had since new, and I bought it in 2010, so it'll be 14 in the autumn of this year, and it's just past 30,000 miles.
Okay.
My Speciale's done 6,000. My Alpine's done about 6,000 or 7,000.
And your Panda?
130,000.
Oh, well, there you go. That says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.